Sure. Hi everyone, my name is Shivek Khurana. I live in New Delhi, India. I've been a Bitcoin and crypto enthusiast for a very long time. I know Status for almost 2 years now. I've always been a fan, and today is my first day. I've joined in as a core team developer, and I'll be helping build the Closure application. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you.
Uh, probably Andrei has more information about specifically RPC call stuff, but the problem is that we are exceeding our limits on infra, and we need to optimize the way how we fetch transactions history. The main problem right now is that in order to like fetch live new transactions, we execute get block each 10 seconds, which causes huge amounts of these requests. Uh, and we actually don't need to do this in many cases, and specifically for users who don't want to use the wallet, because many users are just joining status for chat, not for wallet. What we can do here is to stop fetching this blocks each 10 seconds. And first thing we can add there is to fetch transactions by user's request. So when he actually want to update, they want to update history. Another thing would be if we send transaction from the application, we can uh, resume fetching of each block for some short period of time until we have transaction confirmed on chain. And also when we receive a message with transaction, we also can start listening for new blocks and watching for that transaction, and then stop doing that. That should save a lot for us. There are another thing which we can do is actually a different way to watch new transactions. So we can instead of fetching them with get block by number request, we can execute several other requests like check balance and check transaction count, and that's how we can actually figure out if there were incoming or outgoing transactions. The problem with that is it actually will produce even more requests than get block. Uh, it will cost less traffic, but it will cost more requests. And what can be done is that we can, instead of doing this every 10 seconds, we can do this like once per 10 minutes or so. Uh, and again, the problem here will be that it won't be actually live. Yeah, it will new transactions will appear with some delay. So we kind of can combine a few different approaches here, and in the end of the day reduce the number of requests. Probably someone else has other ideas how to solve it, but that's probably the best we can do for now, because we don't need to add too many changes on status go side. Probably we don't need to do any changes there. We have like start stop methods for transaction history, which we can use on client side, and all we need to is to like use them properly, and do not watch for new blocks when this is not really necessary. That's it. Yeah, from my side.
I have a question on that, Roman. mostly just to get the requirements clear. What, if you can pinpoint, is the problem with fetching too many transactions? Because I'd like to understand, is this an Infura problem or?
No, that's not about fetching too many transactions, but about making too many RPC requests, because
Sorry.
we have some limits on Infura,
Mm-hmm.
and we exceeding them for some time. I'm not sure, probably last month or so. Probably Andrei knows better about specifically this side. Yep. So we need to solve this, because if we will have like 2 times more users, we will exceed this limits even worse. So that
Is
should
it
be fixed.
Is it a
Mhm.
subscription? So, because I have some context around this,
Mhm.
but I'm not sure to what extent this is purely a subscription issue or us dealing with Infura, or if the problem would be the same if we were to use another gateway. Because I do want to make sure we don't compromise on the experience of something so core as the wallet and making sure your balance is up to date or your transactions are up to date because of a subscription issue.
Yes. So, well, as I said, it is only about info right now, but I don't think that switching to a different like service or well our own nodes will be much better, because we'll still make tons of requests, specifically these get block requests, which are heavy. Another issue which we actually have, but it's not noticeable probably for some users, that by making those get block requests, we actually require a lot of traffic, because each block is huge. We request each block with all transactions in that block. And well, that's costly for some users. And also, I'm sure that this has some impact on battery as well, on background and stuff. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you.
No. Well, most of those requests do not require Kaggle node. So mostly all requests which we are executing right now do not require a Kaggle request. That's like for last 5 blocks or so. This get block by number, we do not execute it for archival. Yeah, we only execute it for recent blocks. Uh, so we actually need some requests for historical data, but that's usually get balance and get transactions count, and sometimes it is also get blocked. But I assume that I think that like 95% of requests get blocked by number requests we have now are for recent blocks, maybe even more. It's hard to estimate. So, okay, so we actually can unload non-historical requests to a different service right now. That's kind of a separate issue here. But anyway, if we will optimize the way how we fetch those new blocks, or how we check for new incoming and outgoing transactions, we will save a lot of traffic, and also we will save a lot of requests, even if we will choose another service, because I'm not sure that their capacity will be like unlimited for all these requests anyway. We don't have too many users right now, but we execute like millions of requests anyway. and it won't scale at all as it works now. Well, that's like two separate issues still, in my opinion, because the one is the way how we actually fetch history, and another one is where we wrote those requests and whether we actually can execute them at all, and if user has to pay for them. That's like a different topic.
One question. Have you kind of evaluated to move to a different protocol, basically in a push way? Let's say that especially for status to status transactions, this might cut off some of the requests that we have to do. If there's a WACO notification with the transaction hash, so we can look up that directly. So this basically would maybe improve performance or cut down on requests for status to status transactions.
Well, if we have some API which will just instead of sending requests each 10 seconds, we'll like receive notification when we have a transaction. That's nice, but I'm not aware of them. The assumption was that we use like a standard Ethereum RPC for all the stuff, at least at the beginning when it was implemented, and I'm not sure if there is like a better way to watch the history than
And we could I think we could also like make this sort of like a standard that if you want to send the transaction to a status wallet, you should send a WACO message informing the receiver about the incoming transaction. I think that would, for some cases,
not all transactions will be sent from status.
no, of course not. But you could make it like an open standard that other wallets might also use to kind of improve the whole thing. Because the issue that we're seeing probably a lot of wallets have, and you don't need to fetch the whole block and a lot of history to kind of see, okay, there has been a transaction sent to my wallet.
Yeah, that's nice thing. Though I'm not sure this is like a quick thing to to fix to make it work.
Yeah, I just want to bounce the idea on.
Well, that's it from my side. I'm not sure if someone wants to add something. Nope. Okay. Do you mean I created like right? I don't remember even about this issue. I need to check it. That was years ago, or year ago or something like that. I will check it after the call, right? Yeah, I will update it if it's outdated.
Do you mean issue with personal sign? No. Yeah. So it's actually it's not the first time that MetaMask implements something without the specs, and we have issues in status. We had this before a few times, and now so where there is a spec for personal sign, and actually I'm not sure. There is no specification about the parameters, but there is only example. But most dApps, I mean, probably it's expected when you interact with Web3, you send parameter as hex values, and most dApps do this, and they sign and send message as a hex value, and we convert it to UTF-8 and show it and sign as hex message as hex value. But at some point, MetaMask, they implemented that it's possible to sign string, and they just check if it's string, they convert it to hex and sign. But there is no spec for that, and most dApps, they work fine. They sign the hex value. So I don't know if we should like just implement the same thing how it works in MetaMask, or I don't know. I know only one dApp. It's I think I don't know who is working on this dApp, and they send it like a string, or it's because they use library, and this library probably is probably more dApps use it. I don't know. So there is no spec for that. So the only thing we can do is like to implement support for strings instead.
Yeah, that's a good question, because on desktop, the way we are doing right now is determine if the string starts by 0x and if it contains hexadecimal string, meaning characters from 0 to 9 plus A to F. And if that's the case, we assume that the value received is a hex string. Otherwise, it is a normal string. So I think that unless there is a domain that starts by 0x and hexadecimal value, we shouldn't have any problem at all by converting the value we receive to hexadecimal string. Otherwise, assume that it is a hexadecimal string. I don't think there will be an issue at all. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.